This is why Donald Trump and Elon Musk are stupid, because you guys already understand that. So instead of talking about why they're idiots for wanting to go to Mars, let's instead talk about where I'd rather be in the solar system, and that is Ganymede. Or maybe Callisto. They have some trade-offs, and I'm not sure which is better, but I think it's probably Ganymede. But let me explain. First, there's a fundamental problem in space that we should address, and that's sublimation. Sublimation is exactly what you experience when you watch dry ice turn into vapor. It goes directly from ice to vapor because there isn't enough atmospheric pressure at sea level, at least. I mean, maybe like underwater in the Marianas Trench, it would become liquid carbon dioxide before rising to the surface and becoming a gas, or becoming a gas on its way and kind of infusing into the water. I don't know what the pressure threshold is for carbon dioxide, but my point is that at low pressure, which is most every surface that you could call a surface that is hospitable, like Venus has atmosphere. You don't want to be on Venus. It's the second closest thing to hell I can imagine in the solar system, other than Io, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But basically, if you're imagining peeing in zero gravity, like on the moon, as like your pee just curves up off into space, okay, maybe this isn't relevant for this group, but if you were thinking that it could work that way, you're wrong. It just turns into gas. And there's not even enough gravity on most of these planets to stop that gas from just going off into space, which creates a real water problem and a real water-based life form problem. This is one of the big reasons we can't live on the surface of most anywhere but Earth. So one way to solve that, which also solves another problem, which is cosmic radiation, we go underground. Basically anywhere but Earth, we would have to go underground. Now doing this on Mars requires us to burrow through regolith. Regolith is vitrified rock. It is one big solid block of rock that is molecularly like uniform because of high heat from being smashed with meteors. It's also incredibly toxic, and it doesn't like break like a rock would. It powders, which is real bad for equipment, even if it weren't incredibly toxic. It's real bad for breathing. It's real bad for having eyes, ears, holes on your body, especially wet ones. And that's even if it weren't toxic, right? But let's say we're digging into a planet that's made of ice, like Ganymede or Callisto. They have about 160 kilometers of ice before you hit a warm ocean. The ocean is warm, by the way, because it is borrowing wireless power from gravity, the gravity of Jupiter in this case. It's called tidal heating, and it keeps the inside of the planet warm, even in an incredibly cold environment. They receive 1% of the solar radiation that we do, basically no heat at all. The outside of either Callisto or Ganymede is ice that is so cold it is stronger than structural steel. And actually in that environment, structural steel would be incredibly brittle. This is what we're building out of. We're building giant igloos. But not just one layer, layers of igloos, right? Through various types of ice, which will be conducive for various things. We'll have places that we can plant. We'll have places nearer to the sea that we can put like nuclear power plants. We can take the waste heat from those systems and use it to heat the inside of our habitation zone, because ice is an incredible insulator. That's why igloos work. Heat is a major issue in this part of space, and this planet has a free water heater that's powered by Jupiter. But it's even better, because Ganymede isn't dead. While we would, for various reasons, atmospheric pressure being one of them, need to go miles under the ice to be able to survive, we might not need that much protection from the radiation. It's the only moon in the whole solar system that is alive, meaning that its core still moves and creates a dynamic metal relationship that creates an electromagnetic field that protects it from cosmic radiation. It's very important, especially because it is in the radiation belt of Jupiter, which is happening because the incredibly volcanically active Io, hot, just hell, literally hell. Giant volcanoes, preposterously large compared to the size of the moon itself, are spewing gaseous sulfur directly into the ionosphere, which is becoming ionized radiation, a whole belt of it, which Ganymede lives inside of. Because of the electromagnetic field, it has some protection from that, and naturally burrowing in would give you protection from that. The one big problem with Ganymede is really the radiation belt itself. Fixing EO, I don't even know how you'd go about that, so stopping the radiation belt maybe isn't a question, but if we could shield our ships from it, we could build here. I mean, that's a big if, because this type of radiation will absolutely destroy not only us, but our equipment, our computers. So we need incredibly shielded, not only spacesuits, but basically walking around, flying a lead Zeppelin and walking around in lead coffins, like fucking Fallout power armor made of lead. But if we could survive, if we could drill through 10 kilometers of structural steel hardness ice, we would find the most hospitable landscape in the entire solar system, one that we could build into almost infinitely compared to the idea of only occupying the surface of Earth. I'm not saying it's as big, it's not. But if we built layers into it, we could fit more people on Ganymede than the surface of Earth. We'd have virtually unlimited water, which breaks down into virtually unlimited oxygen and hydrogen, which we can use as a fuel source. So we have unlimited power, unlimited water, basically unlimited environment built in, unlimited heat, eternally provided by the gravitational energy of Jupiter, as well as a living core that provides us electromagnetic shielding. Many of these things are true for Callisto. The core of it is locked, so we don't have that electromagnetic field, but it's also not in the radiation belt. Callisto might actually, because of this, have far less issues with radiation than Ganymede and be easier to approach as well. It's a little bit smaller, but not a whole lot. Both are larger than our moon. With our moon, they're the three largest things in the solar system. Moons, at least. So huge. Tons of room in either place that we could work with. It is so much better than Mars. After writing 4 books on the surface of Mars, having characters go to Ganymede and just like experience the bathhouses has blown their minds after living in a world where every ounce of water must be carefully rationed, and letting water be exposed to the surface pressure of the planet causes it to fucking fuck off into outer space. Like, it's not a good place to live, and these idiots want us to go there. And I think that the main argument for Ganymede is that none of these fuckers are trying to colonize it. We can start again, leave all the idiots on Mars, we'll go to Jupiter. Thanks for listening.